at all levels of care in Tanzania. And I think I don't need to put a lot of words in this point because the word quality has been spoken from various speakers. But the strategic direction of quality, we thought that in order to operationalize the quality system, we need to strengthen the management of quality systems at all levels, and this can be achieved by improvement of leadership and governance, the management to focus on structural process and outcome of quality of services. And here we are considering things like commodities, medics, and equipments, but also to strengthen client-centered quality systems. The other thematic area was an issue of commodities and supplies, and in this area we were supposed to ensure availability of safe, quality, and efficacy of health commodities and supplies for delivery of quality services. And then the other thematic area that we considered was RMNCH, and in this case we were thinking to strengthen health systems to address specific needs for RMNCH, but also to strengthen the referral system across the country, and this by involving the community participation, but also improve infrastructure for referral system, which we, in our discussion, we thought the referral system in Tanzania is poor. Now, putting the strategic priorities for 2020-2021, we thought we need first to strengthen management of quality systems at all levels, and this, within this period, what we can do is to empower QI teams in health facilities at all levels, and then to improve intrapartum care by proper use of pathograph. I think pathograph, Dr. Rosina spoke a lot on the first day one about the use of pathograph, which is weak. Secondly, to ensure availability of safe, quality, and efficacious commodities and supplies for delivery of quality services, and this would be done by conducting bottom-up quantification for health commodities, review and disseminate standard treatment guidelines and essential medicine list based on the evidence. The third strategic priority was to strengthen health systems to address specific needs for RMNCH, and this, I think, to reduce newborn mortality by allocate specific places for newborn care from the level of from health centers upwards. Skills improvement for neonatal care and availability of essential commodities. Development of neonatal care curriculum for nurses. We thought during this period we could invest our time and resources by having a curriculum for neonatal nurses. But also another strategic priority, number 4, is to strengthen health systems to address specific needs for RMNCH, and this include to strengthen the provision of SRH information, education, and service for adolescents and youth. Finally, our concluding remark, we say, while the HSSP4 MTR has indicated substantial progress of most quantitative indicators, HSSP5 formulation should focus more on quality indicators for all these thematic areas. I submit.
Thank you very much. The two presentations now are tabled and ready for discussion. And I see the patogram laid up.
I'm sorry, thank you. I just want to remind you, Dr. Yahaya, when we went to Washington with the delegation of the Minister of Health, World Bank, sometimes in the beginning of 2016, and there we were presented with the SDGs, particularly 3, that was on health and how it is related to other goals. And the Secretary General of the WHO discussed about service delivery, and it was referred as a black box, a Pandora's box. You can see the way it is presented, there are a lot of issues. So we have to be very diligent in selecting which one will make our service delivery improve in quality. Probably not everything can be taken on board on the first few years, probably small by small, and then we take on board all the things that are discussed in the quality of service delivery. There are a lot of this presentation is very good. The way it was presented by Group A and B is very good. I like it. But there is one thing I think probably we forgot, but when I was sleeping, I said, did we discuss about improving quality of service delivery by conducting outreach services, clinical supervision, clinical mentorship from high-level facilities, cascading to the lowest in the community? I don't think if it has featured very well, I think that one also will improve quality. And then I said, did we discuss well about operational research to see what aspects of clinical services that are successful and that are weak, so that we emulate the ones which are successful and strengthen the weak services that we are seeing, that is. And looking at the technology, the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence could be very good in the service delivery, in improving quality of care. But everything has cons and pros, positivities and negativities. For example, there is one gadget that is circulating and it has already entered here. It is a computerized. You handle it, you stay with it for 2 hours, it reads your body throughout and it tells you what problems you have and what treatment is required, if it is surgery or what and what. And this one is here. Now the price I hear is about 200,000, and you just have to sit with this gadget for 2 hours. It reads from head to toe and tells you the problems and the way to be treated with medicines or with the surgery they propose. That's very good artificial intelligence. But can we afford such things? No, we cannot. It's very important. But there are other artificial intelligence gadgets for treatment. Like if you read, you see that there are robots who can perform surgery, bloodless surgeries. They are there. Yeah, we should be knowing that there are things like that. And this is very sophisticated. But we could have some that could be adopted. But what I'm looking at, what I'm seeing now this era, we medical clinicians are depending too much on gadgets. You see, my students ask, have you seen a patient with the cancer of the cervix? They say, no. I said, but you have been rotating in the wards, you were in the OPD, you are in the gyne ward, you don't see a lesion of cancer of the cervix. They said, nowadays they are diagnosed by ultrasound. So imagine CA cervix being diagnosed by ultrasound scanning, not by clinical staging. What type are we teaching? That's why I emphasize, let us look. The performance of the referral hospitals where our students go, and us who are teaching these students, at the end of the day we ask, is that what we want? These are the type of medical students or laboratory. You know, I review, I I interview manpower at the hospital and I would ask, telling me, have you ever seen a malaria parasite in the blood smear? No, I haven't seen it. And this is a laboratory technician who have graduated. I don't know. So let us think of these things that are realistic. When I discuss these things, I don't want to belittle what has been achieved by the Minister of Health. Is that I'm pointing that there are things that we can still improve, save our people. I very much value all the management in the ministry, everybody. But you see, my eyes, I cannot close my eyes for things that could have some implications to the populations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rosina. It's only photographs, but it's not only photograph, but also malaria apparatus. You are everywhere. Please, yes, please. Some hands in advance. Okay, yes. So give that one, then I come this way.
Yes, thank you very much for all presenters. I would like to add one thing. You see, many interventions which are cross-cutting have been shown in various thematic areas, but is a style of writing or composing the health sector strategic 5. I would like the cross-cutting issue to be in a specific chapter to make sure that the health sector address issues from other sectors which affect our sector, like the climate change issues. The health sector should be resilient to the climate change, and the partners are here and they're supporting some projects. So I would love if there will be a specific chapter addressing the cross-cutting issues, the way they feature and the way we will interact with other sectors to address issues which have effects on health. Likewise, we had the floods closer and so many other areas. Those are conditions, but they affect our health. So if it will be better, we can address specific chapters to show how we will interact with other sectors so that we can have a common mechanism to address as a country.
Yeah. Thank you, moderator and Mr. Chair. I just want to highlight one thing regarding friendly services in our health facilities. One of the most challenge we are having, especially in public facilities, is user-friendly and customer care element in our services. So I haven't seen clearly how do we capture issues of compassionate care, respective care, customer care to our facilities to attract more clients. So I just want to see how we can engage the element of customer care to our facilities so that we increase the acceptability. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing the issue of respective care into this context. It's one of the major focus of the new health sector policy. So Chiho, then I want someone at the back. If you are not saying, I'm going to volunteer you. So please, get back, I'll tell you who to give.
Thank you, Dr. Ipuge. First of all, I should probably be clear with myself. So these are the two service delivery presentations. There'll be another one coming up, right? Okay. So I just wanted to say that I think the comments on the climate change, maybe stay tuned for the next presentation because I think the group has something to say on that. I just appreciated the sort of the comprehensiveness and the diverse perspective that these two presentations brought. At the same time, I thought for the task force going forward, that's going to, I think, fine-tune these things to sort of also encourage us, all of us, to go back to some of the key findings of the HSSP4, for which certainly maternal neonatal mortality is a big unfinished agenda. According to the analysis, so was family planning and also nutrition. So I think it was something that maybe for the task force going forward to build on those recommendations that emerged from HSSP4. And the second point is, I think the recommendation also talked about adolescents. And so perhaps the thinking was already there, but I would like to make sure that the task force retain the adolescent health discussions that emerged from HSSP4, and I think we talked about in the last 2 days, to certainly go prominently featured in HSSP5. The last point I thought was to bring us back to the issue of gender. And I think this, according to the report of the HSSP4 MTR, but as we also know it, I think it is an aspect that we do need to be much more deliberate and explicit in addressing. And I think in this room, I would all of us to be encouraged to go beyond looking at gender as male involvement, because I think it's more than that. And I think going forward, I think in the report, they also talk about different NCDs, including cancer, men's, women's cancer. I mean, there's a lot of gender aspects of the work that we do that I think the task force needs to be mindful of. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Rita Riamuya, you are one of the future Rosina Ripiogas. Can you say something? Give it to Rita. Comment from Rita Riamuya, one of the most passionate obstetricians I've seen. Yeah, she's in front of you. Give it to her.
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to comment. But what I would like to comment is on compassionate care and the patient-centered care. We've started it in our regional referral hospital, and if we can concentrate on it, I think it will help us to improve health facilities, especially for patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You see, you could have hidden us that information. Now,
Thank you. I just want to take up from where the previous speaker just left off. There was one RMOS conference here in Dodoma many years ago. And the theme of that annual conference was quality of services. And I remember our minister by then was Honorable Anna Abdallah. I was part of the team that wrote the opening speech for her. So on the day when she came to open the meeting, she called me aside and she said, with due respect, I'm not going to read your speech today. I'm going to say what I feel. So of course we had written about quality of services in terms of facilities, medicines, and all the things that we usually talk about. She said, from the perspective of a common citizen, a client, she has 5 elements to quality of services. Number 1 is, how do we as providers first initiate our contact with the client as a human being? Most of us don't even greet our patients today. So to our patient, it's a number. It's a file. You see the patient on and off, you don't even know a name or her name. 2 is an issue that has been mentioned during the meeting since we started. The whole issue of privacy. I mean, how do you expect someone with a venereal disease to tell you when there's a whole lot of people sitting on a bench and he's just the first one on the line? Or they have other problems that are so confidential they cannot speak it in the open because relatives and friends and neighbors are all seated with her or him. So, issue of privacy. Number 3, she said, we are very selfish in the health sector. Our experts want to dominate information. They want a one-way traffic of them asking the questions. But they never provide feedback to the patients when they ask for it, with the excuse that this is very complicated. You know. It took me 8 years to study. I cannot explain it in 2 minutes. It is so difficult for me. We'll have to find time. We'll sit outside. I'll explain what's wrong with you. She said, information domineering is not your domain alone. The patients have the right information. When they ask us, they have the right to get a response, which we don't. Or, she said, people want facilities to be near them. So as long as we talk of big distances between facilities, we are not providing quality of services. And finally, she said, at the end of the interaction between the provider and the client, the thing that joins the two is provision of the medicines and supplies, not a piece of paper, a prescription that the patient has to chase medicines all over the place. Actually, it completely changed the whole thinking of the meeting because we were thinking in terms of structures and processes and instruments and all those kind of things. So it's still striking me. Are we still thinking of quality in terms of the technical part, the way we are used to, or what the people want us to provide from their perspective? Thank you.
So you were thinking, you remembered, were you? Thank you very much. Okay. Okay. So,
yeah, I have 2 comments. One is from where the previous colleague said about customer care. And I think this is a very important area because you may have all these good improvements, but people are not interested because of the poor customer care that we have. But for this to be realized, we need to have a sense of ownership amongst the health workers. And this can only be brought about by the capacity building on leadership. Because, for example, from the some experiences that we have had here, like the Macaulay model, we have heard about Uturo. When you examine what really happened, it started from the leadership, then it trickled down to the people who were involved, and then they saw this remarkable change. So I think for us to be able to realize all these good things that we are discussing here, we need also to invest on investment on capacity building on leadership at the facility level and also maybe regional or district level. And this can bring the change that we expect. The second comment is on universal health. You saw one of the bulletin talking about people with special needs. I would like to share the experience from Bears Honor Referral Hospital. We have realized that there is this group of the deaf and dumb that has been forgotten for quite a long time. Now, we as the Zonal Referral Hospital, we employed a person with skills on sign language. And for 1 year, we've been able to attend 400 deaf people. Amongst them, we have 28 on ART, and they knew nothing before that. We have also done the circumcision, voluntary male circumcision to 16 men. And we have the experience of attending even a person from Kenya because they heard of the service that we provide. So I think it is high time to see that among the health workers that we expect to be at the regional or zonal referral hospital or national hospital, we need to consider about these people with skills on sign language. Thank you.
Sorry, moderator. Just an update. I think you saw our permanent secretary leaving the meeting room. She has been called at the Dodoma Regional Referral Hospital, where our vice president is right now visiting. So initially I was asked to set the ball rolling, but this time I have asked to keep the ball rolling. Let us continue.
Thank you. Actually, you should have been with us in day one. Okay. I wanted to thank the last one for introducing an aspect of medical tourism, which is already happening, that people from other countries are now coming. So group leaders, group chairs or rapporteurs, any reaction, very quick, 1 or 2 words, even saying thank you, you are okay. Dr. Makwani?
Thank you, Dr. Ipuge, for giving me this chance to speak on behalf of the group. I think if we look at the health sector in terms of service delivery as a pillar, among the pillars of health systems, a lot has been achieved. But as you can hear from the group, they are unfinished agendas. And those unfinished agendas need to be taken on board. Last year, we were able to count about 1,744 maternal deaths across the country from all health facilities, including the community. But we were also able to follow up around 18,118 under 5 deaths. The causes of the 1,744 maternal deaths, 70% were caused by 5 conditions: PPH, eclampsia, sepsis, anemia in pregnancy, and what was named as suspected thromboembolism. But along the review of these maternal deaths, we have done reviews in the regions, in the zone, and to some of the major hospitals in this country. Let me speak the review about the major hospitals in this country. All of us, we trust these facilities, and we will continue to trust these facilities. But to be sincere, when we did the review, we need to invest a lot on quality. There are a lot of needless death in these facilities, which would have been averted if the quality system was in place. I can't talk of the details, I can't mention the hospitals, but that's what I could say. When we look at the under 5 deaths we counted last year, 18,000 plus, we found that 63.6% were caused by neonates, indicating that the neonate has been forgotten. The neonate has fallen between the cracks. But also, we noted that the contribution of the first 0 to 7 days of life, death, was high. So the burden of neonatal death was due to these days. But when we looked at the SB, we had around 9,000 SB last year. 43.6% were due to fresh SB. What does it tell us? It tells most of the deaths we see in the neonatal period are contributed by the intrapartum care. So investing on quality, we don't need to ado. Just we say we need to improve quality of our services. And this is the hallmark of our discussion yesterday. I submit. Thank you for your contributions.
So, I really wanted to finish my work before you eat anything. But I even started feeling some scratches in my stomach. So myself. So what do you think? Are we able to take a quick break or should we finish the two presentations? The group here is saying finish. Break. So you won't check in. So 30 minutes we come back. 30 minutes we come back.